It was scary getting up there for the first time and you're vulnerable because I was thinking about what do they think? Do I look good enough?
Megan spent most of her childhood alone. Her parents were divorced and her mother worked long hours. When she was molested at her elementary school by a male tutor, no one believed her.
They were like, he would never do that. He's not that type of person, Megan. Stop lying.
The tutor molested Megan a second time. Those experiences left her sexualized at a young age, and her many hours alone gave her access to adult entertainment.
And so I would watch things on TV, pornography would come up on the television and I would watch it. I actually started calling the 900 numbers and talking to people.
When Megan was 14, she began having sex with older men.
Some of them were married, some of them weren't. And I was so desperate for attention. After the act was over, in all of these instances, I was numb. I was so broken and lost from a young age. Honestly, I didn't feel anything.
Megan was just starting high school when her aunt and uncle, who were Christians, felt compelled to invite her to come live with them. She moved from Texas to Michigan.
The first time I stepped inside of my aunt and uncle's church, it was an overwhelming sense of peace that I had never ever felt in my entire life. A sense of warmth and love.
Megan gave her life to Christ and attended a Christian school, but before long, she started acting out sexually again.
When I would be around boys, I would get that feeling would come back up again, and then I would just fall right back into it.
Megan returned to Texas at 18 and was working as a waitress when a friend asked her if she had ever considered dancing in a strip club.
And I looked at her and I was like, no, but that sure does sound like fun. I mean, I got excited, because I had always been like an attention, like I loved attention.
Megan's excitement was short-lived.
You portray this person like everything's okay and that everything's beautiful and glamorous on the outside. To see the look on the men's faces when you're up there, the way that they look at you, it's disgusting.
But Megan needed the money, and in order to keep dancing, she started drinking and then tried cocaine.
And I was hooked at that moment because it was just a huge rush for me. At least 6 months I did cocaine every night and every day, nonstop.
To support her growing drug habit, Megan needed more than the income she made dancing.
I realized a quicker way to make money was to get women to do what you wanted them to do. If I had a customer come in that wanted something specific, I would find someone and tell them, this is what you're gonna do, and do it.
Megan became the club's madam, and her alcohol and drug abuse escalated. One night, ashamed of how far she had fallen, she closed herself in her bathroom and took a bottle of pills. Then she reached for a razor.
I did not want to take another breath. The pain that was inside of my spirit was so achingly horrible. The things that I had done, that just to breathe hurt my body. And I began to slit my wrists. And then I felt a little bit of God's presence because I had been taught the difference between heaven and hell. I had sat through sermons where I had heard God's word. And all I could think about in that moment was going to hell, and I didn't want to go to hell. And I knew that there was something better for my life.
Megan put away the razor and slept off the drugs. She didn't know what else to do, so she continued to work at the club as a madam. She also began a new relationship, and a few months later, discovered she was pregnant.
The Lord met me in the bathroom that day that I looked at that pregnancy test, because as soon as I saw that, I made a decision in that moment that I was never going to be the mother that was going to be a drug-addicted, alcoholism, promiscuous mother. And so from that day, I never picked up drugs again. I went back to the club one time the next day. As soon as I walked in that club, the Spirit of the Lord was all over me, and the smell made me want to vomit. The atmosphere, the music, and I left and never went back.
Megan married her baby's father and gave birth to a son. She had turned away from the drugs and the lifestyle, but she still wasn't free.
Even though I had stopped drinking, even though I had stopped drugs, and even though I had stopped clubbing, there was still a lot of damage on the inside of this heart that had to be worked out.
She and her husband began going to church together. There, Megan made her final surrender.
So I just asked the Lord to forgive me, you know, and just asked him to just change my heart and change my mind and just make me a new person from the inside out. And he did that. And I knew that he loved me. And I knew that he could heal me and that he was healing my heart from my past hurts and pains. And that was a moment that I felt the last breaking of bondage off of my life. And I remember, man, I felt like I could put some wings on and literally fly out of that church. Like, it was amazing. I will never forget the way that felt.
Today, Megan runs Heels to Halos, an outreach to women who work in strip clubs. And she offers them just what she's been given, a changed heart through Jesus Christ.
I don't care what it is, what you've been through, what you've done. You can say that the heart's too far gone. It's never too far gone for the Lord, because he is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and he is the Prince of Peace. And he makes it right.